Good morning, commissioners, and good morning, everyone. It's nice to see an actual group of people here in the room with us. Welcome to the March 3rd, 2022 Cumberland County Commissioners Workshop meeting. If you would, please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I call this meeting to order at 9 a.m. and at this time I open up the floor to public comments. Okay. All right, hearing none and seeing none, we'll move on then to agenda item number 3, and I'll call on Becky Shaw from the Housing Authority of the County of Cumberland to talk about the Consolidated Plan.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Becky Shaw with the Cumberland County Housing Authority. Each year, the Cumberland County Housing Authority prepares an annual plan that's required to be submitted to HUD. And in this plan, it details how the Housing Choice Voucher Program and public housing will expend its dollars. And part of that plan requires local official certification that the PHA plan is consistent with local consolidated plans. The county's most recent consolidated plan, prepared every 5 years, identifies affordable housing as a priority need. And Cumberland County Housing Authority believes that the availability of the housing choice vouchers and the public housing in the county meets the need by providing working families, seniors, and those with disabilities to live in decent, safe, and affordable and sanitary housing that's affordable to their budgets. So Cumberland County Housing Authority is requesting commissioner approval of the certification of consistency so that we can submit to HUD.
Are there any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Nice to see you in person.
See you too.
We'll move on then to agenda item number 4, which is contracts and grants, and I'll call on Tammy Hershey. Tammy?
Thank you, Stacy. Agenda item number 4, numeral 1, is existing contracts, contract extensions, or addenda with no additional cost or increase to the county for children and youth services, CNRC, planning, prison, and sheriff. Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments, concerns regarding any of these agreements?
No.
Hearing none, we will move on to agenda item number 4, numeral 2, which consists of new contracts, vendors, services, grants, and contracts with increases or decreases to the county. I will begin by calling on Kim Winton to discuss the contracts for aging and community services. Kim?
Good morning, Commissioners. Helping Hands provides personal care and home support services to eligible seniors in the options program. Excuse me. Main Street Pest Control will provide exterminator services for rodents along with treatment for things like bed bugs for eligible seniors when needed.
Any questions for Kim? Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Next, I will call on Jamie Robert to discuss the contract for children and youth. Jamie?
Good morning, Commissioners. The only contract we have today actually is Children's Home of York. They provide foster care services for us in 4 different levels. They had originally requested approximately 35 to 40% increases in their rates this year. However, we barely use their services due to their location, but we do want to remain contracted with them. So we did give them a 2% increase for this year.
Questions for Jamie? Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
I will now call on Lori Glaze to discuss the grant for Conservation District. Good morning, Lori.
Good morning, Commissioners. We were really excited to receive the grant from the Pennsylvania Association of Conservation Districts that I came to you guys about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's for the Rain Garden Workshop at Upper Allen Township to provide plants and a workshop about non-point source education. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
I will now call on Sue Carball to discuss the contracts for MHIDD. Sue?
Yes, good morning, everyone. The first contract is an IDD contract. It is for Alma Healthcare doing business as Med staffers. It is an amendment to their fiscal year 21-22 contracts for an increase of $10,229 for additional services, and the services or companion services. The next contract is for Jill Bricker. It's an EI contract. Again, it's an amendment to their fiscal year 21-22 contract. It's an increase of $9,218 for additional services, and she does special instruction. And the last contract is the mental health contract for the Aurora Social Rehabilitation Services. Again, it's an amendment for their fiscal year 21-22 contract, an increase of $3,550 for additional services, and that service is social rehabilitation. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.
Next up, I'll call on Stephanie Williams to discuss the contracts for planning. Morning, Stephanie.
Okay, good morning. These are grant agreements for grant applications that were previously approved by the Board of Commissioners in November of 2021. The first there with Carlisle Borough is for $30,000 to help them develop a new park along Fairground Avenue. Mount Holly is for $19,000 to assist them in constructing a new pavilion at Trine Park. And the last is Friends of Opossum Lake Conservancy. Grant agreement is for $30,000 and will allow them to construct a pedestrian bridge that will improve safety and gets the trail off the road. And I just did want to add one note on that project. They did inform us previously that they had concerns about their budget going over. And I was informed by Ed Franco that Lower Frankfort Township did make an additional contribution of $10,000 to the project so that hopefully their budget is now back on track.
Questions for Stephanie? Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
I will now call on Jody Smith to discuss the contract for the Sheriff's Office.
Morning, Commissioners. Our contract is with TransUnion, the Sheriff's Office, as well as the Warrant Collections Unit, uses their software to search for people. It gives us the names, addresses, relatives, etc. And for bench warrants, and we use it for civil process. It's a continuation of a previous contract, but there is a price increase, $10 per seat per month for the users. Any questions?
What's the restriction on who has access to that?
We limit it to the supervisor for civil process, the deputies that work in the bench warrant division, and as far as WCU, I believe all of their staff has access to it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That concludes the contracts and grants. I will now turn the meeting back over to Smith.
Okay, so thank you. We'll move on then to agenda item number 5, and this is a motion to reaffirm an addendum to a contract between the county and Care Options. Care Options provides our pharmacy at the nursing home. That contract was set to expire on February 28th, and this is simply an extension that will take us through to the settlement date. And this contract has a 5-day cancellation clause. So it is my estimation that you will be reaffirming this today, and in very short order, we will be providing a cancellation. Are there any questions about?
So this is an action item.
This is actually, yes, this is an action requested item today.
We've generally indicated that.
We do. I've noticed that. Yes.
Stacey, I just want to make sure this is a contract that is solely between the county and the pharmacy.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.
We can cancel it with 5 days notice.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to reaffirm the addendum to the contract between Cumberland County and CNRC Care Options RX as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. There's no further questions. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on then to agenda item number 6. I'll call on Ryan Simon to discuss a donation acceptance request for the Department of Drug and Alcohol. Ryan.
Good morning, Commissioners. Again, this year, the Big Spring Area Community Chest would like to make a $1,000 donation to the Commission. They have done this in the last several years. And again, this year, we would use the money for prevention services in the Big Spring School District. Any questions?
Okay, thank you very much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 7 is an appointment recommendation from the Cumberland County Library System Board of Dr. Brian Robertson. I'll be covering this today. This appointment is to fill a vacancy beginning on March 7th through the expiration date of December 31, 2023. Dr. Robertson applied to the board and is being recommended due to his extensive involvement in the community and his past employment and actually genuine love of libraries in general. The information is in the packet if there are any questions before Monday.
Looks like we have another great volunteer.
Yes, it looks like it. It really does look like it. So we'll move on then to agenda item number 8, which is Commissioner's Liaison Reports, and I'll start with Commissioner Eichelberger.
Okay, just a handful of things. My effort has been under general issues rather than liaison issues. However, continue to have a lot of activity going on with the cadence, particularly with the reorganization that's going on there. I did spend a bit of time connecting with a lot of people for boards, committees, some board prospects, senior staff. So we had a terrific board, I'll call it a board development meeting with a prospect who is a large employer in the area, and they provide significant support to a number of our activities and provide individuals for committees as well. I attended that along with some support from the Cumberland Councilman Don Kidler, who's just a great organizational guy and who really wants to help out the county as well. I think we're going to have some very good outcomes from that. Attended along with Gary Chicatano, attended a planning / brainstorming session earlier this week that helped us provide a framework for the new committee engagement and on goal setting, some nice plans coming out of that. I later today have a meeting with the committee chair for the Policy and Planning Committee and have a pending update from the chair of the Workforce Development Task Group as well. So a number of things happening on CADIC there. Once again, we're so fortunate we have an incredible reservoir of talent who are really committed to the county's future in CADIC, as well as with the other entities that we have as exemplified with our earlier individual that was just profiled. So glad to be part of that. The only other thing I have on recycling is Justin sent me 2 articles. I've asked him to kind of monitor what's going on in the marketplace and provide us any articles of interest to keep us informed on that fast moving area that impacts us. And I just got that. I only looked at one of the articles, but I'll forward that along to my colleagues as well so that they can look at those with any interest they have on the issue. And that's everything I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Fauci.
Good morning, everyone. And Stacy, just for the record, that was almost impossible to hear on my end, Commissioner Eichelberger's update. So I don't know if there's a need to move a speaker, but it would be good to let Mark know that that was very tough to hear on my end through the phone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So HATS met last week. There are a couple of very important updates. One being that there is a new focus on the Harrisburg bike share, and the goal is to expand that bike share program from Harrisburg to smaller communities so that people will be able to use these isolated pods of bike share. The 2023 to 26 TIP is in development. There has been an additional $40 million brought in for NHPP, an additional $45 million for bridge investment. I checked on the status of the median barriers on I81 on that study, and the report is that it is being studied, but there was no update on it. The I81 Improvement Strategy, the consultants are wrapping that strategy up, and that could come up for acceptance in April or June. And there is a desire to maybe use some funds for preliminary design of an auxiliary lane in Carlisle. There will be details at the next HATS meeting. The I-83 bridge, District 8 is in the environmental development process on that bridge. There will be a public hearing later this spring. One of the, I think one of the best things to come out of this HATS meeting is the coordinating committee voted on a resolution against tolling. And as part of that resolution, it states that any money that needs to be spent on auxiliary projects because of diversionary traffic has to come from tolling if the bridge is tolled. So the first piece is no tolling. The second piece is if you toll it, diversionary traffic projects have to be paid for out of the tolling. That passed at HATS coordinating committee, and a big thank you to Kirk Stoner for all of the work that he did on that. PennDOT voted no on that resolution. At technical committee 2 weeks prior, PennDOT voted in favor of that resolution. And in the meantime, the Secretary of Transportation was very, I think, unhappy about the protest on the tolling. So that would that was the reason for the change in their vote. Most certainly, the gentlemen from PennDOT that were at the HATS coordinating committee meeting are, under the gun. And I certainly appreciate, as I think everyone in the room did, their position as well as their humanity in this project, because this is very tough. There are some thoughts that maybe there would be a different way to pay for this particular bridge. And that is something that is being explored, although I didn't really hear any particulars on it. CAT needs drivers. So if we know of anyone who would like to drive for CAT, we need to get that information over to them. And the HATS annual report is in draft form for review. And Stacy, that's really all that I have this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. I would just add that you might want to plug the Cumberland County Library System. She didn't hear it.
Sorry, Stace, I missed that.
Oh, I said I just believe you probably also want to plug the Cumberland County Library System.
Yes, please
Use your
use it.
libraries.
It's fantastic. Yes, thank you.
I think the solicitor's a little light on billable this month, so CAT might sound pretty good.
Right. All right, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner DiFilippo.
Thank you. First, I want to report the February Conservation District Board meeting was canceled. We will reconvene later this month. Housing Redevelopment Board met February 17th. Some items to note: an agreement was approved with the PA Housing Finance Agency, and also an agreement was made with Planetaria to create and build a website, which the CCHRA sorely needs. And a pest control contract was awarded to, and I'm not kidding, Rat Incorporated, doing business as organ pest control. The Redevelopment Authority also completed an application for grant funding in the amount of $750,000 for the statewide local share assessment with the Commonwealth Financing Authority for rehabilitation of the Wilson facility in downtown Carlisle. CapCon met on February 27th. There is a presentation done by AT&T FirstNet, which was about providing supplemental emergency 911 services. The other presentation was made by Lee Stennett of Salsa the News regarding I-83 bridge tolling lawsuit, and that initiated some lively conversation. Lee is trying to get other municipalities, both on the East Shore and West Shore, to be part of the potential litigation. The Aging Advisory Board met February 18th. The lowering COVID numbers, senior centers are providing more activities. There's also more personal contact with the aging staff, again, due to the lowering of the COVID numbers. Update on Echo Housing. Echo, which stands for Elder Cottage Housing Opportunity. These are small cottages manufactured that could be placed on a family member's home. And they're going to do one of these homes in partnership with New Visions. And if things go well, look at more opportunities for that. And that is it for me.
Thank you, Commissioner. That takes us to agenda item number 9, and I'd like to report that executive sessions were held on January 24, 2022 at 10:55, February 22, 2022 at 2:15, both regarding litigation, and on March 2, 2022 at 9:30 a.m. regarding personnel. Is there any other business to come before the board today? Hearing none, we are adjourned. You can leave that call for that.